It came as a huge surprise for a lot of people out there this past week when Cloud9 White, the single best female Valorant roster, dropped their single best pro player this past week without explanation, that being Keiti. What Keiti later took to Twitter to say was due to personal reasons. Well, it seems that reason has now surfaced as the victim in this story has now spoken up, that being Mel. And I got nothing but respect for her coming out about this, and certainly a lot of details in her twitlonger about her situation, which we will be speaking about. Cloud9 did not give any details, but that was at request initially of Mel. Keiti, of course, did not say anything besides personal reasons, and we now know what that supposed true reason was. It's a very serious issue, but again, nothing but respect for Mel. Me and her exchanged a few words about this story as well, and coming out to talk about something that clearly had her so bothered. And it was especially the misconception of the response out there of people, trying to make assumptions as to why Keiti was actually let go, that led her to needing to tell her side of the story. As in her twitlonger titled Cloud9 and Keiti, she says, "I've been thinking long about this. However, I'm going to put my own interest ahead of this because mentally it has been bothering me for the past few days. A few days ago, I made a twitlonger about someone threatening to leak my nudes. Now I quickly found out the source of this footage, which was 2 years ago in the Siege community. I sent this footage 2 years ago to a dear friend who she labels as M of mine back then, and although they deny sharing it, I can't look past the evidence against this person. I'm not naming this person because I don't have full proof it came from them, but realistically, it could have only come from them. Now to the present, someone made a burner account to threaten to leak my news to people. I ignored this initially after speaking to people about it, but then a day after Cloud9 Keiti DM'd me saying my nudes have been leaked to her and that she's DMing me to let me know. I thought that was extremely nice of her to do, especially because I never really knew Keiti personally, never interacted with her. I kept talking to her in the DMs. When it finally clicked to me 2 years ago, she was in the Siege community, and I found out she was friends with the so-called M. I started asking her about that time because I was curious, not knowing that that's where the leaked nudes happened. The same day that night, she kept messaging me. She wanted to talk to me about something important. I joined a voice call with her when she confessed. She confessed to me that she was behind the burner account, threatening to leak my nudes. Her reasoning to me didn't seem malicious, but many of my friends told me she was trying to manipulate me. I'm not very well with reading my own emotions. I was quite honestly in shock. She threatened to leak my nudes to me because she wanted a reason to reach out to me on her main account. She wanted to be friends with me. She said many things in the recording which made me almost forgive her, but I shouldn't have to go through the stress and frustration just because someone wants to be friends with me. She did say she would seek help, and I really hope she does." So why am I coming out now only a few days after the announcement? Initially, very important here guys, I went to Cloud9 with the matter, asking for it to be handled internally without public shaming. They did, but the overwhelming support of the community for someone that has traumatized me greatly still hurts me deeply. I've been struggling with dark thoughts in the past, and since I've joined Valorant, I haven't had that problem in a while except for last week, and it scared me. I didn't want to tell my parents or my siblings again that I was suicidal. I didn't want to be a failure to them. Seeing everyone speculating about what happened to Cloud9 White was an immensely triggering experience for me. All I feel is guilty. Guilty they're not able to play in the VCT quals. Guilty there's so many disapproving eyes on them. Guilty Cloud9 got a lot of flake for something that wasn't their fault. I'm sorry to the players of Cloud9 White. I'm so sorry to Cloud9. I'm so sorry to have destroyed the view of such a powerhouse team. I'm sorry I had to bring my baggage from Rainbow Six to Valorant. I'm so sorry. And let's just get this straight right off the bat. There's nothing to be sorry about when it comes time for coming forward about this. The fact that you told Cloud9 to not make a statement and not publicly shame was a very respectable thing to try and do. You couldn't have guessed the responses out there, people assuming, oh, maybe it's just Cloud9 being dumb. Maybe it's, Keiti will be back better than ever. Maybe there's some other reason, right? You want to assume the best, as many people did. And as you said, that was triggering for you. And your side of the story is something that you deserve to share if you do so choose. That is nothing to be sorry about, especially when, Mel, you are the victim in this case. And to give you guys a TLDR, if you didn't want to listen to that, yes, it was a lengthy twitlonger that I think you guys do need to listen to understand her side of the story. It was pretty much Keiti, as said by Mel, she blackmailed leaking her nudes to be a friend of hers, to have some sort of friendly relationship with her, which is obviously very troublesome. Now, in speaking with Mel, I privately heard that confession by Keiti, and I will say, like Mel says in her twitlonger, you hear the remorse in her voice. Now, Keiti admitted to all of this directly to Mel. She apologized and she is seeking help, which clearly is needed. The dropping it from Cloud9 White is a just punishment for blackmailing just to be someone's friend. That is a terrible, terrible thing to do, and obviously help is needed. And just like Mel also says, she hopes that Keiti is getting it, and this is something that does need help. But there is coming back from this. You know, obviously, Mel, I have nothing but respect for you coming out about this, a very, very serious situation. But if Keiti is getting the help that she needs, I am glad that she is. It's a terribly sucky situation all around, and there is nothing to be sorry about here, Mel. And I'm glad you did share it. But that obviously answers a lot of questions out there as to why Cloud9, the most dominant roster who just won VCT Game Changers, would drop their best player. It's not due to personal reasons. There were some other reasons beyond that, and that was blackmailing to leak someone's nudes just to be their friend. So, Mel, I'm wishing you the best. I know it takes a lot to come out about these kind of things and talk about them. And so, yeah, just utter madness. But now we all finally know. So until next time, all right, you guys just stay hydrated. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you back here sometime soon. Until then, take care of yourselves, all right?